Hello children, Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone. Hope you all are doing great and I hope you all have done your online test well. Welcome back again with yet another lesson of grade 5 literature reader. Lesson number 5, The Woman Who Grew Butterflies. So let's get started. This lesson, The Woman Who Grew Butterflies, teaches us to be kind to animals regardless of their type and where they live. There are many ways by which we can show our kindness towards them. It is our responsibility to protect them and be kind towards them. Now let us start the lesson. The Woman Who Grew Butterflies. Now children, you all have to read the lesson so to get the better understanding. Okay, let's begin. The Woman Who Grew Butterflies is a beautiful story about a woman who receives an unexpected reward for her kindness. Now, once you read the story, you will come to know how she was rewarded for her kindness. So, shall we start, children? Yes. So, let us begin. The story takes place in a town of Bunting, where there stood a row of cottages freshly painted in the colors of the rainbow, and the steps were always washed clean. Mr. Gordon, Mrs. Bennet, from the first two cottages, were very proud of their front yards, but Mr. and Mrs. Bunes, from the third cottage, pointed to Old Molly's garden and said that it was an eyesore. Now, why did they say like that? Because Old Molly cared for animals and used to feed them with bread, nuts, and grain, and in summer she would not even step up on a snail or slug and never chase them off. And because of that, all the insects had destroyed her garden. And just because of this reason, the neighbors said that her garden was an eyesore. Her neighbors wouldn't allow the snails, slugs, and caterpillars and kill them with pesticides. So all they made a way to Old Molly's garden and ate up every leaf and flower. The mayor of Bunting was to present a silver trophy to the owner of the best garden, and the residents of the three cottages, Mrs. Gordon, Mr. Bennet, Mr. and Mrs. Bunes, thought that Old Molly will never get a prize in the garden competition. So the residents of the three cottages were very confident about winning and started dreaming what they will do with the silver cup if they win. Mrs. Gordon thought that she will fill the vase with the roses of the garden. Mr. Bennet said that he would put it on the window sill to everyone to see. And Mr. and Mrs. Bunes decided to keep it on their bedside. But Old Molly didn't even care about the competition. She was concerned about the caterpillars who would become beautiful butterflies and moths. A week later, the mayor arrived. His car was painted like a bumblebee. His waistcoat was embroidered with blue flies, and golden earring was hung from his ear. This showed that he was fond of insects. He went garden to garden awarding points until his eyes was attracted to Old Molly's garden. When the mayor reached the Old Molly's garden, he saw the butterflies clinging to the apple tree. Their wings glistened in the sunlight like colorful flowers, orange, red, lavender, and mauve. White doves, small colorful birds, chirped and cooed on the roof. The mayor was very happy with the sight, so he gave the silver cup to Old Molly and drove back home happily. Old Molly was surprised because she did not expect to win. Old Molly put the vase on the shelf for the summer and the winter, but in the spring she put it out in the garden to become a robin's nest. So, children, I hope you all enjoyed the story. So, all of you should read the lesson once again and then try to answer the questions which are there below. So, these are the exercises which you all have to do after reading the lesson. Question answers are there in the slide below, and choose the correct answers. You can read the lesson and you can do it by yourself. Answers are there, but you just do it by yourself, and then after that you can tally the answers here. Think and answer is an oral based question, so you can discuss it orally. Appreciating the test case, again you have to read the title of the story and you have to complete the table. And complete this sentence with the words from the text. What feelings do these words express? For all this, you all have to read the lesson. Anyway, answers are given here, but you try to do it by yourself, and then you can check the answers and tally the answers from here. Here is another exercise on using words, where you have to replace the underlined phrase to another similar phrase which has the same meaning. First, attempt by yourselves and try to figure out the answers, and then check the answers which are given here. The next exercise is your writing part. It is your DIY, that is do-it-yourself activity. You can make a poster announcing the event. The next is looking at values, where you have to discuss about how good you are as a neighbor. And the last one is a class debate. Since we cannot attend classes and discuss it in the class, but you can discuss with your siblings about how fruits are more valuable than flowers. So with this, we have come to an end with the exercises. So all the exercises should be done in the textbook itself. Only the content words and the question answers and framing sentences and word meaning should be written in the notebook. Hope you all enjoyed it, and read the lesson once again. Okay, so the next thing which you have to write in the notebook are your word meanings. So the word meanings here are eyesore, slug, sniffed, chuckle, clinging, and magnificent. This again you have to write one time in the notebook. Frame sentences with the words magnificent, eyesore, chuckled, sniffed, embroidered. Frame your own sentences with these words and write in your notebooks. So you all have to answer these questions in the notebook. Question number 1, all except for one. It has two parts, A and B. What is referred to as one? And B, how was the one different from all the others? So the answer is A, one refers to Old Molly's garden, and answer B is Molly's garden was different from the others as the other gardens in the row were very pretty and neat. On the other hand, Molly's garden was full of snails, slugs and caterpillars, so there were no flowers and leaves left in her garden. Here you have question number 2 and question number 3. Question number 2 is, so all the snails and slugs and caterpillars made their way to Old Molly's garden. Why did they do so? So the answer is Old Molly's neighbors didn't allow snails, caterpillars and slugs in their garden, so they made their way to Old Molly's garden. Old Molly was too kind to hurt them or chase them away. And question number 3 is, how do we know that Molly's neighbors were sure that they would get the prize? Answer, we know that Molly's neighbors were sure that they would get the prize, as they had already planned where to keep the big silver cup and what to do with the prize. Now here you have question number 4 and question number 5. Question number 4 is, what shows that the mayor was fond of insects? The bonnet of the mayor's car was painted to look like a large bumblebee. His waistcoat was embroidered with blue flies, and from his ear hung an earring shaped like a golden ant. And the last question, question number 5, that is, what a magnificent sight. It has two parts, A and B. Who said this and what was the magnificent sight? And the answers are A. The mayor of Bunting said this, and B. The caterpillars in Molly's garden had turned into butterflies. The slug snails had cleaned the yard outside Molly's house and shone like silver on the roof. Birds in red and blue were chirping and cooing. Now here you have question number 4 and the last question number 5. Question number 4 is, what shows that the mayor was fond of insects? The bonnet of the mayor's car was painted to look like a large bumblebee. His waistcoat was embroidered with blue flies, and from his ear hung an earring shaped like a golden ant. And the last question of this lesson is, what a magnificent sight. And it has two parts, A and B, that is, who said this and what was the magnificent sight. So the answer A is, the mayor of Bunting said this, and answer B is, the caterpillars in Molly's garden had turned into butterflies. The slug snails had cleaned the yard outside Molly's house and shone like silver. On the roof, birds in red and blue were chirping and cooing. So with this, we finish with the question answers. Now the rest of the exercises should be done in the textbook itself.